Alright, guys. This one is going to be a very long voice note, but it involves all your doubts in a single recording. Alright, I'm going chapter wise, poem wise, and scene wise. So, starting with the photographer, I think the most common doubt that people have is in the second paragraph, which is I began to see that I had done an unwarrantable thing in breaking in on the privacy of this man's scientific pursuits with a face like mine. The line का मीनिंग समझने से पहले कॉन्टेक्स्ट समझना ज़रूरी है. This guy has been waiting for 1 hour. He went through all the magazines. Most of these magazines or all these magazines are models, either women or ladies or girls or infants, all good looking models. And then he realizes that this guy has a certain beauty standard. Like he has a certain standard that he's looking for. He has a certain target that he's chasing. He has a certain model that he's hunting. And when I walk in with an unattractive face like mine, then I have interrupted. So breaking in is interrupted. I've interrupted the privacy of this man's scientific pursuits. Malab, I've interrupted his personal hunt, his personal quest, his personal chase, his private chase for a good looking model by now forcing him to capture my face instead. So वो निकला था एक एकदम beautiful model ढूंढने, and now he has to settle for someone like me instead. So that's the meaning of that line. I don't think there's anything else in With the Photographer that is a problem for people. Coming to elevator में भी मेरे को नहीं लगता any paragraph is an issue. Then coming to Girl Who Can, Ema Eta Aidus, उसमें there are 2-3 lines that people have an issue with. First one being when Nana talks about her father, and she says sometimes Nana would pull something about my father, which pull in something as in say something about my father. Oh, before that, someone asked me a very interesting doubt today. That's when Nana says, Kaya, I thank my God that your very first child is female. Now, people normally just read this line, but they don't focus on the word very. And this child is like, sir, the fact that that Nana is using the word very first child, does that mean that Kaya has other kids? No, it doesn't. It simply means that Nana and this setup of Ghana is a matriarchal society. I'm again telling you, society is matriarchal, she's the matriarch, but her outlook is patriarchal. Her approach is patriarchal. She's thinking like a narrow minded man, like not wanting to send a kid to school, thinking that a girl is meant to only have kids. These are all patriarchal points. But she is ultimately a matriarch. So they actually celebrate girl child, they celebrate women, which makes this entire story a bit ironic. That if you're celebrating women but not supporting women, then that's ironic, right? So when she says your very first child, so think of in India, there are certain villages जहाँ अगर पहला बच्चा लड़की हुई तो people are not very happy. Then second time try करते वापस लड़की हुई, not happy, not happy, not happy. Until a boy child is born, then people celebrate, which is sad. But over here it's like a parallel universe. वहाँ पे अगर first time ये लड़की हो गई तो people are like happy about it. They're celebrating. So very first child is her celebrating. Okay, I'm so grateful that your first child in first go is a woman, is a girl, but she doesn't have the right legs. Vesa. Okay, now coming back to the line of her dad. So looking at such a man, now this expression such a man tells us that something's wrong with a father. But you shouldn't assume in the exam paper. In the boards, you don't have to assume क्या wrong है. पूछेंगे भी नहीं तेको. Something is wrong with this guy. Looking at such a man, now it could be his nature, it could be some physical aspect. Something is wrong. They've not given us a background. Looking at such a man like Ajwa's father, we have to be humble, grateful. Humble is grateful and admit that after all, God's children are many. फिर वो ड्रोन ऑफ कर लेती है. Why doesn't she complete this sentence? Because what she's trying to say is, we have to realize that God's children are many, which is why maybe God doesn't have time to look after everyone. And because God couldn't look after everyone, and he couldn't look after Kaya, my daughter, Kaya ended up making a goof up of marrying such a terrible guy. But if God had been watching her that time, then he would have stopped her from making such a mistake. Then the line continues. After one's only daughter, as in my daughter, Kaya, insisted on marrying a man like that, again a terrible man like that, you have to thank your God that the biggest problem is punishment. So God punished me for my daughter's action. But God was kind. The only punishment that God gave me was giving me a grandchild with legs that are too long for a woman and too thin. So otherwise ये गलती जो मेरी बच्ची ने की है of marrying such a terrible guy, उस गलती की सज़ा बहुत भारी पड़ सकती थी. But I got away. God has been kind. He didn't punish me much. So that was one dialogue. And the last dialogue that people have a problem with is on page 156 when Kaya says, "Is that so?" And then Ajwa says, "I know her. Her over here is Kaya." Her mouth moved as though she was going to tell Nana, though the mother no is about to taunt Nana. Okay, after all, there was a secret about me. A secret over here is her legs. So Nana has always been so ashamed of Ajwa's legs that she tries to keep it from the rest of the village. She doesn't want to show Ajwa's legs to people. That's why maybe she doesn't want Ajwa to go to school also, because she's so ashamed of Ajwa's legs. So, but now because she's selected in district games, Nana has no choice but to let Ajwa's secret be known to the world. Like पूरी दुनिया को पता चल जाएगा कि अजवा के पास पतले legs है. So now no matter how hard Nana tries to keep the secret, she couldn't be expected to not share it with anyone. वहाँ पे share it दिया, उसमें not share it है उसका meaning. But वो टॉन्ट मारने जाती है एंड वो नाना का मुंह देखती है एंड सोचती है यार ऐसे खुशी के माहौल में अभी मैं टॉन्ट मार के क्या करूंगी. सो काया डिसाइड्स टू बी द बिगर वुमन एंड शी कीप्स क्वाइट इंस्टेड. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ टॉन्टिंग नाना शी जस्ट लेट्स इट बी बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली एवरीथिंग वर्कड आउट इन अजवाज फेवर. सो दैट वाज द लास्ट थिंग. देन कमिंग टू पेडिस्ट्रियन. पेडिस्ट्रियन में द लाइन दैट पीपल हैव एन इश्यू विथ इज द लास्ट पैराग्राफ में. नहीं, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल पेज 163 में भी लोगों को डाउट होता है. द टूम्स इल लिट बाय टेलीविजन लाइट वेयर द पीपल सैट लाइक द डेड, ग्रे और मल्टीकलर्ड लाइट्स टचिंग देयर फेसेस but never really touching them. It's a very nice line. Basically, when people are watching television, the light of the television falls on their faces, but it doesn't affect them emotionally. It shows that people have become so numb and so lifeless and so disconnected from everybody that even though the lights fall on their faces, they are not actually affecting them emotionally. They have no emotions left. That's what the line means. And when you come to the last side, the car hesitated, that's personification, or rather gave a faint whirring click. Whirring click is onomatopoeia. As if he's imagining. It seemed as if information somewhere, information over here is head office. The word information is head office somewhere, was dropping card. Dropping card over here is transferring rules, transferring information by punch slotted card under electric eyes. जब रे ब्रैडबरी रोट द स्टोरी ना, उस ज़माने में यूएसबी नहीं होता था, माइक्रोचिप्स नहीं होते, सिम कार्ड्स नहीं होते थे. दे यूज टू हैव पंच स्लॉटेड कार्ड्स, लाइक बड़े बड़े कार्ड्स होते थे जिसमें होल्स होते थे. एंड देन व्हेन यू फिट वन कार्ड विद अनदर कार्ड, तो डेटा यूज टू बी ट्रांसफर्ड यूजिंग दैट टेक्नोलॉजी. उसको पंच स्लॉटेड कार्ड बोलता है. सो व्हेन ही आस्क्ड द कार अ क्वेश्चन एंड द कार हेजिटेटेड, Leonard made us thinking कि maybe the car is being operated by a head center जहाँ से information has been transferred through this device called punch slotted card and is reaching the car, and that's when the car answers कि I am taking you to the psychiatric center for research on regressive tendencies. That's what the line means. Then we come to the last lesson. Last lesson, I don't think there was any line that was a problem. Then we come to मेरे पास यहाँ पे सीन स्टार्ट हो गया, तो मैं पहले जेसी कर लेता हूँ. जेसी में एक्ट 3 सीन 1 में द लाइन दैट पीपल हैव प्रॉब्लम्स विथ, द फर्स्ट लाइन इज ही दैट कट्स ऑफ 20 years ऑफ लाइफ. नाउ बिफोर दैट अगेन, ये ही दैट कट्स ऑफ से पहले ना कॉन्टेक्स्ट समझना जरूरी है. सो व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इज ब्रूटस येल्स आउट टू फेट्स ओवर हिज डेस्टिनी. ही सेज डेस्टिनी we'll soon know your pleasures. Pleasures is plans. वो डेस्टिनी को एड्रेस करके बोलता है. It's an apostrophe, by the way. You're addressing fates. So he says fates, like destiny. We know your plan. We know your pleasures. मतलब we know your plan. Your plan is that every man at some point has to die. मतलब हमने जो किया उसकी सजा में मिलने वाली, हम भी मरने वाले, ये हमें पता है. So we know that we are going to die. ये तो सबको पता है. What men don't know is when they are going to die. So we know your pleasures. That we will die is for sure. That matlab we know for sure that we are going to die. But the time, what we don't know is when we are going to die, the time, and drawing days out. Drawing days out, and then we spend each and every day wondering when we are going to die. So although we know we are going to die, what we don't know is when we are going to die. इसलिए हम every single day we spend waiting for our death. We spend wondering when we are going to die. In a way, he's saying that men keep fearing death then. To which Cassius says, अगर ऐसा है तो the person who is killing another person 20 years before he's meant to die, assume कर ले कि सीजर 20 साल बाद ऐसे ही मरने वाला था. 20 यहाँ पे लमसम फिगर है. सो अगर हमने उसको 20 साल पहले मार दिया तो एक्चुअली हमने उस पर फेवर कर दी ना, वो तो नेक्स्ट 20 साल वैसे भी फियर में गुजारता, ही वुड हैव फियर्ड डेथ, तो उससे अच्छा तो वी सेव्ड हिम by killing him 20 years before. So he, as in anybody who cuts off 20 years of a person's life, cuts off his ends so many years of fearing death. So when we've killed Caesar 20 years before he is meant to die, we've actually done him a favor by saving him those many years of living in fear. अब वो fear में नहीं जिएगा. That is the meaning. उसके बाद the line that people have a problem with is the heart and heart वाला line, which is Antony. So Antony says, one second, I'm looking for that line. Yeah. He says, pardon me, Julius, here was thou bade. This is where you were cornered. Bade as in cornered. The reference is to a hunting reference. Caesar is being compared to a stag, to a deer. Brave heart, H-A-R-T, heart, matlab deer. You are such a brave deer and you are ultimately hunted over here. Here did you fall. This is where you finally fell, died. And here the hunters, the conspirators, stood around you. Stand as in stood around you. Signed in thy spoil. Signed is covered. Spoil is blood. They are covered in your blood because that's the tradition. If you read the footnotes, you'll come to know that when hunters would kill a prey or a game that they are hunting, then they would ultimately cover themselves with the blood of that animal to show that, see, we've killed this person. This could also be one of the reasons why Brutus, the main reason why Brutus dips his sword in blood and holds it up is to claim ownership. Okay, we are the ones who are taking responsibility of killing Caesar. No one else should be hurt. But it could also be this tradition, that he's following, that, hunting they cover themselves with blood once they've killed the animal. So they are signed in your spoil. Signed is covered. Spoil is blood. And they are crimsoned. Again, crimsoned is they are totally red with your lithi. Lithi word का मतलब blood है, but allusion भी है. Allusion यहाँ पे lithi का है, बाजू में दिया हुआ. Lithi is a river of blood where once you drink from it, then you cross over to the land of dead. So here Caesar's pool of blood in which Caesar's lying is referred to as lithi. So these men are crimsoned. Crimson is covered in red, as in blood, in your blood. Blood as in lithi. They are covered with your blood. O world, now he calls out to Romans. Rome को बुला रहा है वो. O world, where is Rome? O world, you were the forest to this heart. As in, O world, O Rome, the only forest that this heart over here is deer over here is Caesar. The only forest that this deer wanted to be in or live in or protect is you guys. All Caesar cared about was Rome. And this indeed, O world, this as in this man, this के आगे man डाल दे, this heart, this deer indeed, O world, was the heart of thee. H-E-A-R-T, heart हो गया, which makes it a pun now. So heart of thee matlab beloved of thee. So the way Caesar was obsessing only over Rome, I'm very sure that even you guys loved him. He was your beloved. Then how like a deer is he struck matlab hunted, by so many princes, and here he lies before us. This is the line. Sequence बहुत जरूरी थे, पता होना चाहिए who is he interrupted by at this point and why. So Cassius interrupts him to remind him that, he needs to know whether he's on his side or not. So that was a dialogue. And again, this one, no? I hope you guys know this. Else it would seem like a savage sight. That is Brutus saying that if I don't tell you the reason, then all of this is just a savage spectacle. Like, I would have killed Caesar for no reason. But I assure you, I will give you a reason. After that, Act 3, Scene 2. Act 3, Scene 2 is amazing. I've already taught you guys everything that you need to know in this. Nervy wala dialogue bhi pata hai tumhe. He holds up Caesar's mantle. Mantle is the robe. He holds up Caesar's bloody robe, which has holes in it. And he adds an emotional value to it. अब ये सच है नहीं है वो पता नहीं है. But वो लोगों emotionally उलझा रहा है. बोलता है this is the same robe, the same mantle, the same cloak that Caesar was wearing when he saved Rome from the Nervi. Nervi is a tribe which no one else could defeat, but Caesar saved Rome from them. And he says, this is, why did he bring this up? To remind people how great Caesar was. To remind people कि जब उसकी वैल्यू थी तुम्हें तब तो तुम बहुत गागा कर रहे थे. अब वो चला गया तो तुम भूल गए उसने हमारे लिए क्या किया था. So he reminds them of what Caesar had done for them. Then he starts showing them different holes and he says this is where people stabbed them. After that, Act 3, Scene 3 is easy. I think everyone finds it easy. Act 4, Scene 1 mein, everything's easy. Then Act 4 scene 2 में the horse वाला line. When Lucilius tells Brutus that he treated me with courtesy and enough respect, but not with familiar insolence, Brutus tells him, what you've just described is a hot friend becoming cool. Cool over here is distant. You've described a very close friend of mine who's now become distant. Always remember, Lucilius, Evernote is always remember, Lucilius, when love begins to sicken and decay, when love begins to reduce, दो लोगों के बीच में जब प्यार कम होने लगता है, तो it is replaced by enforced ceremony. Enforced ceremony मतलब a forced formality. Like love is replaced by a forced formality. There are no tricks in plain and simple faith. जो रियल दोस्ती होती है ना, उसमें कोई ट्रिक्स नहीं होती है. सिंपल फेथ इज फ्रेंडशिप. सिंपल फ्रेंडशिप में देयर इज नो ट्रिक्स, देयर इज नो मैनिपुलेशन. Hollow men, fake friends. Fake friends are like horses. Like क्या क्या आर डाल दे. Are like horses who are hot at hand. Hot at hand is when you go to select a horse for yourself and you lead the horse around, holding him by the reins. तो horse को ऐसे पकड़ता है bridle से and you walk around with the horse. The horse is hot at hand. Hot at hand is very enthusiastic because he wants to be selected by you. So the horse acts like it's very brave, it's very enthusiastic. So hollow men जो होते हैं, जो fake friends होते हैं, वो भी ऐसे ही होते हैं. Initially सब लोग एकदम अच्छा ही होते हैं. They are very enthusiastic. And they make a gallant show. Make a gallant show. मतलब they appear to be very gallant, very brave. And they show promise of their mettle. Promise of their mettle मतलब they show a promising spirit. The horses it seems as if the horses are promising, like we can rely on them. But when they as in the horses, face the endurance phase, when they are exposed to the bloody spur is the battlefield, that's when they fall their crest. Is they bow down their heads. That is when the horses bow down their heads, and like deceitful jades is like coward horses. Deceitful is horses that have betrayed your trust by acting like cowards, and jades is horses. So like deceitful jades, they sink in the trial. They fail in the test of friendship. Because horses over here now metaphorically turn into friends. तो जो फ्रेंड्स स्टार्टिंग में एकदम ऐसे मस्त होते हैं, जब सिचुएशन अच्छी होती है, डिफिकल्ट टाइम्स में, ब्लडी स्पर इज डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशंस में these same horses friends turn out to be like deceitful jades and they betray our trust. That was the meaning. Then Act 4 Scene 3 में फाइट होता है. फाइट में कुछ लोगों को ये डिफिकल्टी होती है. By the gods, you shall digest the venom of your spleen simply means I'll make you swallow your own poisonous anger. So venom of your spleen over here is poisonous anger. Even if this anger kills you inside, I will make you swallow your pride. I'll make you swallow your anger. उसी में someone asked me, sir, why is Caesar referred to as someone who supports robbers? Like that has never been established earlier, right? Yeah, it's not been established. But it's assumed that Cassius had manipulated Brutus by writing multiple letters, and in some of the letters he may have implied that Caesar has taken bribes and Caesar is a corrupt person and Caesar supports corruption, robbers over here, corruption. So इसलिए Brutus Cassius को बोलता है कि तू for people who believe that Caesar was a corrupt man, you are now indulging in corruption yourself, which makes no sense. So that's the line. उसके बाद लोगों को जो योक वाला लाइन, he suddenly realizes his mistake when Cassius removes his dagger. So he says, sheathe your dagger, as in put away your dagger, put it inside. I will let you be angry. You can be as angry as you want now. Cassius, you need to realize that you are yoked with a lamb. You are yoked with a lamb. You have partnered up with a man who is like a lamb. Brutus compares himself to a lamb over here. Very calm, very innocent, non-manipulative. Lambs are innocent creatures. So he says you are yoked with a lamb. You've partnered with a lamb that carries anger as a flint. Like I am like a person. The lamb over here is Brutus. Brutus over here is a person who carries anger. Expresses anger. I express anger the way a flint gives out fire. Flint is a stone. It gives out fire only when it is struck multiple times. So even I give out fire only when you provoke me multiple times. But then once I'm provoked, once the flint gives out the spark, the flint immediately becomes cold also. So even I'm like that. Once I've vented out my anger, I have also become very calm suddenly. So don't worry about it. Once I've expressed my anger, I am calm now. Then the line that people have difficulty in is the tides wala line. Tide wala line is, one second, here. a page number in Evergreen. It's page number, I can't see the 112. The line is, the enemy increaseth every day, but we are at the height ready to decline. There is a tide in the affairs of men. Tide over here is opportunity. Tide metaphorically represents opportunity. He says every man's life mein a tide comes. There's a tide that comes in every man's life. Affair is man's life. Which over here is a tide. When taken at the flood, if we use this opportunity when it comes to taken at the flood, matlab when you use the tide at its highest, at the flood matlab when the tide is at its highest, only then will it lead you to fortune. अगर तू हाई टाइड को राइट टाइम पे पकड़ लेगा, it will take you further into the ocean. So here, if you take the opportunity at the right time, it will lead you to fortune, it will lead you to success. But omitted, the word omitted matlab if you miss this tide, if you miss the opportunity, if you miss this chance, then all the voyage of your life, all the voyage of their life, there is our life, voyage over here is rest of our life. Rest of our life will be bound in shallows and miseries. Shallows and miseries मतलब shallow waters and a miserable life. मतलब अगर opportunity को एक बार जब आ रहा lose कर दिया तुम लोगों के लिए, tomorrow is the opportunity. Tomorrow, today, whatever. I mean, today is the last chance you'll get to give it your best shot. Opportunity को use करेगा, पढ़ाई करेगा, तो कल के एग्जाम में superb करेगा. And opportunity नहीं use करेगा, तो फिर, I mean, the line says you'll be bound in shallows and miseries. On such a full sea are we right now. We are at that high point right now, high tide right now, and we should use this opportunity. We should take the current. Current is opportunity. Then comes Act 5, Scene 1. People were asking me why Antony is called a Hibla bee. It's because he uses sweet words. Then comes, I think everyone knew Act 5, Scene 1, Act 5, Scene 2, Act 5, Scene 3 में hateful error वाली line. Messala is trying to actually I'll just add the reel of this, guys. I've taken great pains to explain this line. I'll just add an Instagram reel with this voice note where I have explained this line to you. Then comes Act 5 Scene 4, which is very easy, and Act 5 Scene 5. Also, a lot of you say that Titinius calls Cassius setting sun. He doesn't. He calls him the son of Rome. But when he says setting sun, that's not Cassius. That is setting sun only. He looks up at the sun which is setting, which makes it an apostrophe, and he says, "Oh, setting sun, the way you are setting in your red rays, Cassius's day has also ended in his red blood." So day over here is life. His life has also ended in his red blood. So that's how Cassius is compared to the sun. I think that's JC. Coming to poems. Poems में Genesis वाली line मैंने तेरे को बोल दी, tenderer than thou समझाता हूँ. So basically now he has to make a decision. Should I kill the mite? Should I not kill the mite? So he says, I normally don't have the need to prove to the world that I am better than you. Like every person, he's taunting those human beings, all of you, all of us. We all have this need ना कि दूसरों के सामने हम बहुत अच्छा दिखने की ट्राई करते हैं. हमारे खुद के पेरेंट्स के सामने हम ऐसा बकवास भंगार जैसा ये करेंगे. Like we'll be very ऐसे sorry for the word, I shouldn't have used that word, but what I mean is we'll act like, you know, like we take our parents for granted, we take our close friends for granted, but strangers के सामने अच्छा दिखना बहुत ज़रूरी है हमारे लिए. So we'll do everything in order to look good in front of strangers, in order to prove to strangers that, see, I am better than you. So there's this expression in English, holier than thou attitude. So holier than thou simply means that I am way better than you are. So holier than thou is a, यहाँ पे उसको ट्विस्ट करके वो प्ले ऑफ वर्ड्स कर दिया, टेंडरर देन दाउ. सो बोलता है आई डोंट हैव, आई हैव नन, मतलब आई डोंट हैव अ टेंडरर देन दाउ need attitude. So I have none of the tenderer than thou. Like I don't need to prove to you guys that I'm kinder than you. Tenderer is kinder. Thou here is society. So I don't have the need to prove to the society that I am kinder than you. Collectivistic regimenting love. Kinder than you in what? Kinder than you in showing love, which is regimenting, which is forced. This love is that love and kindness that you guys are acting. You guys are showing that you're kind. You're accepting every race, every human, every person around you. That's not what you feel actually. You're doing it in order to please your neighbor, in order to please the other person. So this love is a fake love. It's regimenting love. It's forced love. And collectivistic, matlab everyone in the world is suddenly acting very kind, suddenly acting like they are very cool people. But I don't have that need to prove to you. I don't have anything to prove to you guys. So I don't have the need to prove to you that I am tenderer than thou, I'm better than you. And I don't have that need to feel that forced love that you guys are victims of. So collectivistic, matlab, as a society, regimenting is forced love that you're showing, with which the modern world is being swept. Modern world is being swept. Matlab, around me, everybody is doing that only. They are just trying to be someone they are not because they want to look good in front of other people. But I am showing kindness to this mite right now because this microscopic item has not done anything that's evil to me. Like, it's not harmed me. And that's one reason why I'm not killing it. Not because I'm kind, but because I feel kind towards it right now. So that's the meaning. Then comes your great trees fall. We are not so much maddened as reduced. We are mad. You know, when you lose someone, you are definitely angry. But stronger than anger is this emotion of being reduced to the unutterable. Reduced to matlab feeling. What you feel is this unutterable. Unutterable is something you can't explain to anyone, can't express to anybody. Ignorance of dark cold caves. Ignorance of dark cold caves is one single expression. It means despair and loneliness. The loneliness, the despair that you feel, the helplessness that you feel without this person. Others around you are unable to experience that. They are unable to understand what you're going through. Again, context very important. Like Maya Angelou wrote this poem for James Baldwin. And James Baldwin, her mentor, her close friend, was very active in civil rights movement. So when he passed away, she felt like all the progress they had made in gaining rights for the African Americans and gaining equality for African Americans, they were now pushed back. Like all the mehnat was in vain, which is why it feels like mankind has stepped back into the cave wala stage. Like cold caves over here back then was ignorance. जब उसने ये poem लिखी थी. But how it is interpreted now is I feel mad at losing someone I have lost, someone I care for. But more than that, I feel very sad, very helpless, and very lonely because no one else can understand what I'm going through. The last verse also, some people have a problem with this. That spaces filled with a kind of soothing electric vibration. Soothing electric vibration simply means that when a person you love leaves you, they leave a void, they leave this emptiness. And this emptiness is filled with negativity. And this negativity eventually starts getting replaced by positive vibrations, positive feelings. And then that is called the soothing. Soothing is peaceful. Electric vibration is positive vibration. So your voids start getting filled with soothing electric vibration, and after a period, peace blooms. Guys, please make sure that you know your figures of speech properly. Like when you're reading something, after a period, peace blooms, per alliteration, blooms. And अगर मैं दो lines को add करता हूँ, when great souls die after a period, peace blooms. So die and blooms are two opposite words. All of these things, never forget that. Like you have your list. I'm just reminding you that if you have your list intact, then you'll be able to deal with every figure of speech properly. So I think great trees fall is easy. You dealt with loss, grief, you dealt with transformation, healing, all good. Then you move on to Glove and Lance is Chindi, उसमें कुछ भी नहीं है. Truly it was a gallant thing to see the crowning show, valor and love, a king above and the royal beast below. Wali line, I hope everybody knows it's a gallant thing. Is it takes bravery to see that magnificent show, because everywhere around you is love, everywhere around you is brave noble knights sitting and these royal beasts fighting. It's not something that's for weak-hearted people. It requires courage to watch such a show. And this was a ballad. I hope you guys know what a ballad is. Ballad is a story in the form of a poem. And then we come to haunted houses, last two paragraphs. I hope you know the paragraph before that. Our little lives are kept in equipoise. Our short lives are held in balance by opposite attractions and desires. Because we are held in balance because we have opposite attraction and desires. What are these opposite attractions and desires? The instinct that enjoys, as in materialistic pleasure, and the nobler instinct that aspires, spiritual pleasures. ये materialistic pleasure and spiritual pleasures का जो tug of war है, it keeps us balanced. These perturbations, this struggle, this tug of war that happens between the two forces, and this never-ending jar, perpetual is never-ending. Jar of earthly wants is us, our soul. We constantly want more and more and more. We are never satisfied. Where does all this arise from? It comes from the influence of an unseen star. Matlab, back when he had written the poem also, life was a mystery. Even today, life is a mystery. Like, who controls all of these actions? He's wondering. And just as the moon, as se pehle just gusa, just as the moon gives out a light, मैं पोएटिक लैंग्वेज नहीं पढ़ रहा हूँ, तेरे को सिंप्लीफाइड करके दे रहा हूँ. जस्ट एज अ मून गिव्स आउट दिस रे ऑफ लाइट from behind the clouds, and this light falls on water, he compares the moonlight to a bridge. Because it's falling on the water, the bridge is called a trembling plank. Trembling because of the waves, plank because it's a bridge. So just like the moon throws out a light which can be called a bridge, which is trembling, across whose trembling flanks are fancies crowd. Fancies crowd, now we start imagining about life, about our loved ones. We start thinking of the people we've lost, about the mysteries of the night, and we start thinking about the realm. Realm is the dimension of mystery and night. Poetic language mein night is always a land of mysteries. So that's where most of your that's when most poets get muses, or they start getting ideas or inspirations, because there's so many unanswered questions about life. So he's saying that just as you see the moonlight and it sparks your creativity and you start having so many questions in mind about life, similarly, there must be a bridge of light coming down from the land of spirits also. So spiritual world and materialistic world ka jo bridge hai is not the moonlight. He's just comparing that bridge to moonlight. He's saying similarly from the world of spirits also there must be, there descends, must be a bridge of light coming down, connecting it as in the spiritual world with our world, over whose unsteady floor. Now why is this, no, moon wala jo bridge tha unsteady tha because pani ke वजह से. But why is this bridge called unsteady? Because this bridge is a bridge of memories, and memories of the people we've lost can sometimes fade and sometimes be strong. Now depending on when you move on, when you get busy, when you start thinking of those loved ones again, the bridge keeps moving and the bridge is unsteady. But as long as we have this bridge of light, it helps us to not fall into the dark abyss, the dark pit of despair and helplessness and depression. So it actually helps us to be alive. That's haunted houses. And that's it. Part of music easy tha, usme to kuch tha nahi. And haunted houses bhi easy hai. Guys, done. I think I've covered all your doubts. Sare lines, sab kuch ho gaya. All the best. I'm ending the voice note so I don't waste your time. Love you. Guys, ये एक doubt मैं explain करना भूल गया था, so I'm adding it towards the end. This is from pedestrian, which is cloverleaf intersection wala line. So all of you know what a cloverleaf intersection looks like. I've drawn it for you. If you are my student, I've drawn it in the class. I've added it to the notes. And if you're on the gram also, I've shared my notes on the gram and you can see it. So anyway, he came to a cloverleaf intersection, which is an intersection that looks like a cloverleaf, which stood silent where two main highways cross the town. So that two main highways is important, and this line is pretty simple. So he reached a point where two main highways intersect. During the day, now right now at night it's extremely quiet because everyone's at home watching TV. But during the day, in contrast, there's a thunderous surge. Thunderous surge is an auditory imagery. Thunderous is loud, and surge over here is movement. Like there's a lot of cars crossing each other, heading to work. So there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of crowd of cars. The gas stations are open. So point wise, agar you mark karna the contrast, then thunderous surge of cars, point one. Second point is gas stations are open. Gas stations is nothing but petrol pumps. So the fuel pumps were open in the morning, in the day. And there's a great insect rustling. Now this is a metaphor. Metaphorically, directly, the cars and the people in the cars have been compared to insects. The way insects mindlessly keep trying to move in a particular direction, trying to overtake each other, trying to walk over each other. That's exactly how the cars are moving. So cars have been compared to insects who are rustling. Rustling matlab rushing towards a direction. And a ceaseless is non-stop. Non-stop jockeying. The word jockeying is movement, struggle. They are struggling to overtake each other. So there's a non-stop struggle to overtake each other, just like scarab beetles behave. So scarab beetles again is a particular type of insects. They have hard wings and they are multicolored. So these cars have been compared to scarab beetles who are trying to overtake each other with a faint incense. Incense is smoke. With a faint smoke, puttering. Puttering is a sound that the car makes, the engine makes. So again, puttering is an onomatopoeia. And a faint incense, as in the smoke is coming out of their exhaust pipes, from the exhaust, Skimmed homeward is these people are heading either towards office or heading towards home to far directions is in different directions. But right now at this moment these highways too are like streams. Again, that's like as a simile, so they've been compared to streams in a dry season, all stone and bed and moon radiance. Stone and bed and moon radiance simply means imagine a river that's dried up and the moonlight reflects on its bed, as in the dry river bed. That's exactly how these highways looked right now since there are no cars on it. That's it, guys. Done. Love you.